Any other hosts are going to have to hit okay or accept that we're recording. And um, so should we start with our fearless leader, with announcements?
Okay. So, after having a really great bead retreat last week, I think we had 35 people that showed up for bead retreat last week, which was really fun. Lots of classes, lots of fun, lots of laughter. Even sitting in a separate room during the doing a class, I could hear people in the workroom laughing away, just having a good time. It was really fun this year. So look forward to the spring retreat, which is coming up in, I don't know, it's in March. So but it's listed on in the calendar section of the UMBS website. The next really fun event that we've got coming up is our 35th anniversary party. That's coming up October 13th. All members should have received an invitation by now. You need to return the invitation by September 20th. That's so that we can make the cutoff to order, from the club. Again, if you haven't received an invitation and are interested in going, you're going to have to check with Becky to find out why we have the wrong address or what could have gone wrong with your invitation. The Twin Cities Bead Bazaar is coming up in October, the weekend of the 26th and the 27th. We're looking for teachers for UMBS is going to have like a three booth sized area where we sell some things that we've received, and then in addition we're going to do make and takes. We have a lot of donated beads, so if you have something that you could in a little 2-hour stretch could teach, we've got the beads, we've got all the things that probably you would need to do that, and if not, we'll find them. So if you would please contact Marlene Morris. And again, that information is in my president's message and everywhere, or you can contact any board member to get information on how to contact Marlene about that. We're also looking for someone to be on Marlene's committee to really help coordinate. There's a setup on Friday night, and then we've got both people working at the sales table and people doing the make and take. So if you would be willing to help Marlene with that effort, that would be great. We've got a kind of um, a new um, uh, rule that we'd like to enforce at our meetings. One is since we record our meetings, they're via Zoom, we record them, we put them out on YouTube. We don't want people taking videos at the meetings. In addition, if you want to take pictures at the in-person meetings, if you want to take pictures of an artist's work, be sure to ask for permission. It's really a sign of respect to our artists that you do that. In some cases, they may not want to share it, and have it posted somewhere. So please show some respect. And again, this is at our in-person meetings. Uh, we're still doing the Rage Your Stash, and again, you can get that information on our website. You can bring it to any in-person meeting. Oh, and the other really important thing is for the 35th anniversary party, instead of doing centerpieces, we want to focus on the work of our artists, of our beaters. So we're doing a centerpiece. I think we're doing little mirrored centers, a flat mirror, and we want to display work from our members. We'll have, stands if you have a necklace, or if you have a sculptured piece, that would be great. So we'd like to put multiple pieces on each table. You can bring those items to the October meeting at the Carondelet Center, which is just the week before the meeting. We'll get them set up, and then at the anniversary party, you can take them home. If you can't make that meeting, you can get it to the piece to any board member. And again, we'll figure out a way, to protect them. They'll only be set up right before the dinner. right before the party, and at the end of the party, you can take them home. So any questions on that, you can contact me or again any board member. And I think Rochelle, that's it. Unless anyone has questions for me.
When is the fundraiser, Jan?
November, oh, golly, let me pull up the calendar.
There's a post on it on the Facebook page that Hannah just made.
Yeah,
I can actually answer that. It starts on November 12th, and I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm going to do a little spot for this. It starts on November 12th. I would like everything by November 5th, if you would. I'll talk about a little more about that in a second, but I'd like everything by November 5th at the very latest so that I can photograph things, or if you want to photograph it, then please get me the photo by November 5th so that I can get it on the website and give everybody a little bit of a preview. You can either bring that stuff to any of the board members before the 35th anniversary party. So you could bring it to them before October 13th. Any of the board members to give to me, or you can give it to me directly on October 13th. And let me think what else I wanted to tell you about that. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, if you can't get it to me by the 13th, you can mail it to me, but I don't know my new address yet, so don't ask me right now. So the fundraiser is a great thing. This is our third annual fundraiser. I'm really excited about that. This is the third one we're doing, and every year we actually go ahead and pick ways to use it. This past year, we used it to make the pay for the lectures and for our Saturday Bead Live participants a little bit more. We brought in really great artists to speak, for instance, Sandra today. We also, we started really strong, even before April, but by April we brought in Joyce Scott. So it's been a really strong year, and we hope to continue that. If anybody has any ideas on things that they think that it should be used for, please let us all know. You can message any of the board members and we can talk about it. But when I conceived about this idea with the fundraiser, I was thinking, we need a way to bring in these big name teachers. I'd love to be able to bring more teachers in person now that we're actually gathering again for the first time after COVID. That would be really great. So anyway, yes, the fundraiser begins on the 12th. I will start loading things up probably around the 5th up on our Facebook page. It's going to be not our group, not our private group, but on the actual Facebook page that everybody can see. And you'll be able to see them and then start bidding on the 12th. That was a longer answer than you wanted, Lisa. Sorry.
No, thank you. I appreciate the info.
But,
and I did see your post. I just don't have my phone with me.
It's okay. It's okay. No, I wanted to bring that up anyway. So, it's sort of a great little advertisement. So thank you. All right.
Thank you so much. Is there any other announcements? Do you want to, our retreat coordinator talk about retreat, or I know other people have talked about retreat, but I don't know if she's even here. No.
I don't see Grace.
No, I don't see Grace, but I'm glad you all had fun at retreat. I'm sorry I couldn't go. I was working at the Lotus, and at the Renaissance Fair. So if you are in either place, come visit me. Otherwise, we have such a special treat tonight. Our very own amazing is also doing our Let's Be Live. So before we talk about our tonight, our Let's Be Live for September is on the 20, what, first, right?
Yes.
Yes, the 21st of September. And you see this beautiful, amazing thing that she made for our Toho challenge. And on the little wing is this adorable little window, which if you were here earlier, she was showing you in her doll village. But tell us about this, Sandra.
So this is a little paper and acetate bead project that is really fun. It's really easy. And once you learn about beading onto paper, you'll be able to use that for any type of paper, paper flowers, paper leaves. Also, I'm going to do a really fun idea next week to show also if you have two pieces of acetate and a little bit bigger piece of window, you could put a picture in there. You can use that for a window hanging or a little ornament for a tree or even a necklace. So it's just I think it's really fun. A little idea that tickled my head when you were saying stained glass windows in the Toho challenge. So I just came up with this little window idea, and I hope you enjoy it in making that.
Yeah, and she used it. Here's how it's used in her piece.
Yes.
Because
so when you open up, you have the little windows.
Correct. When doves cry. And then when it's closed like this. And it just hugs your chest and it closes hard. And this is what the shoulder straps look like. Just amazing. And then that's what the whole front looks like. Isn't that just so adorable? If you go to Team Toho Facebook page, you can even see more of it. Because it's just so beautiful, so beautiful. So anyway, this is partly what our wonderful tonight is all gonna be about. We're so darn excited. And so our very own Sandra Rothers, and you won a couple different ribbons at the state fair, didn't you?
I did. I was not planning on doing a ribbon, so I'll walk over here. I wasn't planning on entering the fair, but here I did. Ooh, cicadas inspired me. Can you see my cicada? So here's a bracelet. And little cicadas, since it's a year of the cicadas singing away this year, I thought a cicada set would be really fun. Also, I really like this set. Here you go. I like that because here you see these leaves. These are paper. So again, that embroidering on paper, and these are fabric flowers. So I really like this. So I'll take this down. I like this project because I made this in just under 3 weeks. I wanted to make a big splash, but I didn't have a lot of time. So I really like this piece a lot because it makes a big splash, and it's pretty, but it doesn't have, it's making a big splash with very little effort. I mean, there's still a lot of effort, but I really
Sandra,
like
what are the cicadas made out of? Are they glass?
The cicadas are little glass charms that I had found shopping at the Hobby Lobby of all places. I don't always go there very often, but I was going there for a specific thing. Oh, well, hello. La, la, la. And I saw these cicadas and I just kind of fell in love with them. They're glass cicada charms.
They're very pretty.
But thank you. I really like the bracelet. I learned a new technique of how to cover the metal band bracelet. So I had never done that before. So every time I try to do a contest or a challenge, I try to learn a new technique. And so the last challenge, I did a lot of that paper and flowers. These are left over from my When Doves Cry. So I used those. And I found these beautiful peach. Can you see how pretty these are? These beautiful peach beads I got from the Happy Bag from Japan that I bought and had sent back with the Stay Gold. So those little peachy and these little cabochons had come with that kit, and that's what inspired me. So these and these, you never know what will inspire you. That whole set was inspired by these guys, limited time, and some leftovers. I also have some 2022 Toho challenge beads in this piece. So I got 4th place on this and 2 first place win-wins. I was very happy to win. The fair was good to me this year. I got into fine arts too. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. We'll talk about that more if we want to show how that's made. So after we show how that's made, we can talk about that a little bit more. We'll go back to my little village here. So that was my fair. I was very excited about that. I wasn't planning on doing it, but my son moved to Florida, and I was home alone without my dog for the first time for a week. So what do? I bead. And that helped me get through the loneliness, and I don't mind the daytime, but oof, nighttime. My dog's not gone, my husband's gone, the children don't live here anymore, the house is like, ah. So I had cats and beat it, and it was a good thing. Okay. So if we want to show, we can show a video of how Stay Gold was made, and then we can talk about that. So here we have the lovely Stay Gold, which I really begged to participate in this one because I love the poem. Beep, beep, beep. All right. My phone will not work on a stand when nothing gold can stay. So nature's first green is gold. Her heart is here to hold. Her early leaf is a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf. So Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day. Nothing gold can stay. I really like this piece, but one thing I want to talk about that I learned through this piece is time constraint. I had all these great big ideas, but little time, and I worked too much on details. I got really hung up on all these lovely details, but then I didn't have the plan of how to put it together. So there's a few clumsy parts that I didn't have time to finish properly, like right here is really kind of clumsy. But all in all, it worked out really well. And so inspiration behind this piece, of course, even though we know nothing gold can stay, that we stay gold, pony boy. And this also has an allegory of, since we know about good and evil, on one shoulder, we have this lovely serpent tempting us and whispering. On the other shoulder, we have the representation of passion flowers, or the promise of spring after fall. So we have the duality of spring flowers and temptations, and going into the allegory of fall and rebirth, but always stay gold. So that's kind of the theme of that piece. And if we want to, here's my sewing machine. Whoa! I don't know if we want to show the video of it being made. Perhaps Hannah would like to play that one for us.
Give me just a second to load it up.
Cool. Now, if anybody has any questions about Nothing Gold, I would love to answer it. I was very happy to get into fine arts. I feel I kind of was a little tricky about it. I entered it into textiles. But since I was weaving fabric out of beads, I felt that is textiles, and they let me in. I was very, very, very happy. I felt so mad that beadwork keeps saying, no, you're not fine arts. You're not fine arts. And I'm like, yes, they are. They are fine arts, and they have been fine arts women, men have always done work with beads, and I think that needs to be appreciated. So I'm going to keep trying.
All right. Let's see if this works.
Looks like it.
No, that's not it. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's Thunderbird. We can do Thunderbird and talk about that.
No, let's find the right one. My apologies.
No, you're fine. I appreciate any help because I am not, I'm still learning about all this, and any help I appreciate. You guys have helped, all of you have helped me to grow as an artist. And I like that so much.
All right, so let's see if we can find the correct one now.
Okay.
There we go. Maybe that's the, I apologize, guys. Share screen. There we go. There we are.
So here we're starting with the hand charting.
I'm not sure I know how to pause it if you want to talk about it, but I'll try.
You're fine. So mostly you can just see all the different little parts. Flowers. I like the different layering. I'm obsessed with pop-ups. So pop-up books, or I'm obsessed with that, trying to recreate that in beadwork, that dimension and lighting. I'm still trying to figure out lighting.
I love that it lights up.
Thank you. I still need to work on how to lighting. I've been just cheating and using the little fairy lights, but they tend to short out. So I have a lot of problems like with it shorting out. So I need to learn how to like do TV lights or to do that.
Oh, that's how I pause it.
Very nice. So that's how kind of a little bit how I made that. I like to when I really like doing the Toho challenges. They really tickle my imagination because there's a theme that I can start running with colors that are chosen for me. I love that. I find it really inspires me to go outside the box where I would normally go. So as you can tell from the different pieces, where that inspiration went. So I guess we can maybe look at the Thunderbird. I'm gonna walk over to Thunderbird. Here we got the Thunderbird. There it is. I wanted to have these beads really reminding me of feathers. So I have 3 rows. I want to be able to play with it. The tail. It lights up. So it's got 2 separate pieces of loom work and then pattern on the fringe. So this piece was inspired when I saw the colors. I kept going back to something that happened to me, a motorcycle accident. It happened to me a year before this challenge. We were going, the day before, we were riding through Nebraska, and I saw the Thunderbird in the clouds. Now, the next day, we went around the profile view of Mount Rushmore, and the sky broke down, and we went flying. I did not really get hurt. It was very scary. It was very dramatic. It was ice and flooding and flying down towards the ravine, but all's well that ends well. So I wanted to honor the Thunderbird without taking any Native American type of pattern, but paying honor to their tradition of loom weaving. So I wanted to really pay homage to the legend of the Thunderbird that I saw, but not culture appropriate anything of their beautiful artwork. So I just love all these challenge pieces and managed to get the little lights in there. And that's where his little switches in there. So there's my Thunderbird. It's pretty comfortable to wear. I've worn it to a few occasions, and I like that one a lot. So if we want to look at how I made that monkey,
Well, first I actually have a photo of it that I'd like to
Awesome.
show, and then I'm
Yes,
going to
please.
show another video just of it, and then I'll load up the how to make if you
Oh,
don't
that
mind.
sounds, no, that's perfect. That sounds wonderful. Again, I appreciate you helping me run this.
Sure.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Let's see if it works. There we go. Did that? Oh, no, that didn't work.
Almost.
Sorry.
But
Nope. Stop, Sheriff.
so here,
Let's
I'm
try
just
that
gonna
again. My
do-
apologies. There it
No,
is.
it's fine. I'm just gonna like go.
I just really liked this photo, which is the reason
I love how they did that with the 3 photos like that.
yeah. So I just thought it's really, but I didn't realize that it lit up.
It does, yeah.
So
It does light up.
then let
Yep,
me
that lights
get
up.
get the video of it, and then we can look at the looking at. So hang tight for just a second.
Wonderful.
Start share. There we go.
Thank you.
And here's what I love about that is your ring.
Oh my Lavenda Luna. I have to fix that. I wore that to the Bridgerton ball and I broke it, but it's on my table. I'll show it to you later. Yeah, I love that. I love that bracelet. That's fun. There it is. Yeah, so it's kind of like a little halter top, but anybody could wear it because it's adjustable.
Let's see if I can bring up. Hang tight for a second.
Sure.
Let's see if I can bring up.
There's my little Lavenda Luna that we saw in that video.
Let's see where I'm looking for Thunderbird, right?
Yes, Thunderbird.
Okay. No, that didn't work. Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine.
The doll to the right, you have a blue ribbon on also.
This was the first major blue ribbon I got at the state fair. I have the whole frog pun set. They all got blue ribbons, and I got a membership to the Bead Society, and that's when I had my first meeting with you guys. So that's why I left this ribbon on. I wanted to show you guys
I love it.
that how special that was for me, and able to meet fellow bead artists and beaders. I wasn't quite making ginormous things yet, but I love this one. And I wanted to show this one since we're talking about inspiration, because this button, this little frog button, I got at Shelley's store at the Mall of America. And that's what inspired the whole set, is this button.
I love it. I love it.
That's the story of the frog pond. I see my little frog.
Nice.
Which inspired me to make a cabochon. I love this technique of gluing on a little fish, or I've used it on Lady Shalott as well. So it's see-through and you can see the beads through the cabochon, but you could also see the fish. You can see that very well.
Nice.
And the earrings also have
Yeah, the thing you put at the
the
end.
little
You
coys.
can see the 12 bigger or whatever, like the fish tank.
Yeah, so that really got me on the road to meeting you lovely ladies. And then I did a little hand enameled frogs too. And kind of came up with these. I really like these little lilies. I mean, I kind of came up with them, but it's also always inspiration by other artists, you know, and techniques, and then trying to, as you all do, expand upon those to form something different. So that's that one. Yeah, here we go. Awesome. Here's my Thunderbird. We start out with a sketch, and then bead embroidery. I love those diamonds. Look like feathers to me as well. We just keep building on that texture onto that. I did it onto mesh because I wanted the lights to show through. So that's why I embroidered onto the mesh so that the light would show through on the bird. So there we have the complete, yay! And here we have the completed bird, the hand charting of the fringe. I probably would have done it a little bit differently, but it worked out pretty well. And all that fringe. And there's the second piece of loom work with the delicas, which is just smooth as silk. I love working with delicas.
Treasures, icos.
Yeah, icos, thank you. Oh, I'm being glamorous. It's a chance to pretend I'm a model. Woo! Thunderbird.
Oh, wait a minute.
Boop, boop. All right. I can't remember if we had others. So we also can talk about my very first mini challenge is the spectrum of joy. And my first time trying to put lighting, and I wanted to have like glistening water. I think that chart turned out well. And then the shadows of the trees coming down. These colors are colors I never would have chose. I loved working with them though. So I'm gonna show you. It also has, I wrote a haiku. I wanted to have this on a stand so I could actually take this off. So forgive me for a second. I'm just gonna take this off. I'm gonna shroud it over here. Bloop, 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 bloop. This one has words on it, and it says, shadows of the trees. Oops. Traveling light and color in the spectrum of joy. Because Rochelle had been talking about traveling light and things of that nature, I really tickled, and I wanted to try to write a haiku. I hope I did not offend anybody from Japan by doing that. I didn't think about it. And again, I just love that, the feeling of a pop-up. So here it's dimensional. I've used different sizes of beads to try to portray, going into, I wanted this like going into your soul, like you're having a sunset in your soul. So when it lays on your chest and it's glowing, it's a really fun piece. There's very fun colors. But that was Spectrum of Joy.
So how do you develop when you're doing a multi-dimensional layer like that? You sketch out the back layer, top layer, the whole picture?
I was sketching, and so that's a very good question. I do a lot of sketching. I do mock-ups. And when this last challenge, I used my Cricut. I don't have the pieces. I should have thought about that. I used my Cricut to cut out pieces, paper pattern pieces, to make it more symmetrical. So I do a mock-up all the time. Now this piece, the snowbird, was one of the bigger pieces I ever made, from the first big pieces I made. The inspiration came from these antique diamond glass pieces. You can see that. And I thought, oh, that would be a beautiful white peacock. But then I'm thinking, we live in the north. I live in the north. And I found that beautiful Swarovski crystal, got a beak. But she has eyelashes. So this is my husband's favorite piece. And this piece is all beads. So even the support, everything is beads. There's no fabric on here at all. And here's a little clasp too. So I found that mother of pearl clasp in an antique store. So that and the little antique glass buttons were the inspiration. So the little tiny pieces I find sometimes inspire a whole set for me. Or like these little guys, I tried stump work. You can tell it's not quite right. It was an experiment. This was inspired by watching Game of Thrones. They're always talking about blue roses of Winterfell. So I wanted to do like a medieval brace on the arm. And I like that little rosebud. So I wanted to do the blue rose of Winterfell. Now there's some things on here I do like. I like the little ring clasp. They're Swarovski crystals. So they like the toggle clasps. But this didn't quite translate very well. But so pretty. Very nice, very nice. Trying not to kill myself here.
We have a question here, Sandra.
Yes,
When
I
did
would
you
love to answer.
start beading?
I started beading. Here, I'm gonna come sit down and answer that. I'm gonna have a sit down here. I started beading, oh gosh, in the 90s. So I used to help my parents run their restaurant. And every year we'd have a Christmas party. And the only experience I had with beading before this was just stringing little necklace beads, and which I like to do. I did a lot of embroidery and sewing though. And the waitress had drawn my name, and she made me a little kit of how to make what Rochelle's going to be teaching, the Comanche earrings, the dangles. So I learned how to make those. And I kind of just went with that. So all through the 90s, I made those type of earrings and I sold them. I sold them out of my parents' restaurant and different stores. And then I got like really into, I'll show you, amulet pouches. So I'll show you one of my first amulet pouches, like this one. But this was one of like the first ones. I made a lot of those. I used to sell these in Stillwater, Minnesota. So I used to make a lot of these. So the earrings progressed into doing amulet bags. So I started doing amulet bags. With another one. Oh, yep, this one. And I like, these are fun because I just put tons of like little charms and any kind of crystals and the fringes. So that's what I did for about, gosh, 15 years. I just made earrings and then I made little amulet bags. So into the early 2000s, I started doing something bigger and more creative. But what really got me into the big stuff was COVID. The one good thing out of COVID, no state fair. No state fair made me go on, do something a little bit different. And I asked Rochelle about a Toho challenge, and she said, well, why don't you try to do a mini? And so I tried to do the mini, and I've been working and doing that ever since. I love doing the challenges. So that's how I went from making the little earrings, 15, 20 years of just doing earrings, doing the beadwork. But then, the recession hit, what, 2007? No one wanted to buy that anymore. No one had that type of money to spend $300 or on amulet bags anymore. Then also I got really, really sick. So I didn't do a lot of beadwork when I was sick. And I got back to it. So now I've got all these really big ideas and hope to be able to create what I have in my head. So did we have any more videos we wanted to show? I can't remember if I did give you any more.
I have a video of your the making of your current challenge, I think, when done. So I have a video of that, and then you sent me a couple of photos of something that you weren't so happy with.
Yes, we are going to talk about a disaster. We're going to talk about disaster. So whichever one you want to show or talk about, we can do that first. And
up to you, my love.
Let's talk about the disaster since we're talking about that.
I will. Do you want to show the actual or the photo?
Yes, I will show. We'll show the photo first because the photo looks like it's not so bad. So let's show the photos and then we will look at this.
Okay, hang tight. Let me load it up real quick.
You got it.
So there's that one. There we go. It's a little out of focus.
That's okay.
But let's share that. So let me see. Oh, that didn't work. Huh, hang tight. Let me try that again. Okay, so there we go. So I've got photos of both the front
Yes,
and
there's
when you're ready for the back, let me know.
yeah, there's the front. So this was my first attempt at doing Battle of the Beadsmiths, and it was not a good thing. There were tears and breakdowns. So this is she has Clara the Loon inside of her and a music box. So go ahead and show the back.
Okay. Hang tight. That's gonna take a second to load up.
You're fine. You're fine.
Oh, wrong one. And once again, it's a little out of focus. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
they're not the best pictures because I didn't really get very good pictures of them. And yeah, so here you can see there's a machine embroidery on the back. So it's not a very good picture because this is in 21. It's right after I did a Toho challenge and right after I got into my motorcycle accident. So I came home, I was pretty beat up. And I didn't really get hurt, but I was pretty beat up, and my soul was really beat up. It was dramatic. So I was working on this, and I did not know what I was doing. So I'm going to come over and take you to this poor thing, and so here we go. So here's this poor thing. Here we go. She was really sad. I had no idea. I worked too hard on the detail. So this is beautiful detail. Is the front of the locket. Now here's the disaster. So here I worked a beautiful buttonhole. I have a really pretty button. So when you button it though, let's see if I can button this. I thought I was going to be able to use my stand, but I can't. But when you button it, it just hangs. Like it does not work. I ran out of time. This is so janky. I glued this, but the idea was to have the moon phase in beadwork. So these are all done under beadwork under a cabochon, and then see it through the heart. But that didn't work out very well. And her face is beautiful. So I have this beautiful face, and her eyes are crystal, and then she has eyelids. So I had these two beautiful pieces, but the rest I was running out of time. So here we have beading falling off. We have this just kind of tacked on to velvet. It's just, oh, no. I didn't have her arms done. Here's her arm. I put a pin. So she didn't even get her all ties done. She's just the back. I mean, I had great idea. So my idea was to have the see-through and part of the Clair de Lune poem. I'll call it the Clair de Lune. I can't speak French. So I have that on there, but the execution, I didn't plan it out how I was going to put all this together. So by the time my deadline was coming up, I had a whole bunch of pieces not put together, and we have this mess. But still, it's really sad. So very sad, very janky beading. So here I have I had a great concept, but I didn't allow enough time. I worried too much about details without worrying about the structure first. So I learned from this piece to worry more about structure first. And this one, I had no idea how I was going to do a structure. I've had people call it the baby born, which it kind of is. But modern, so this is modern traditions. What's a modern tradition? Modern tradition, I saw it as, traditional, beautiful, almost Japanese wood carvings. The coloring reminded me of Japanese wood carvings, but I wanted something modern. So I'm thinking steampunk, but we have the music box in this one. It's hard to do it one hand. So that's modern traditions. So I put that, so I sewed it onto a steampunk harness turned backwards. But again, I didn't quite know how I was going to have this little world spinning with the lovely cranes flying over it. I did okay, but moving forward, you have to like shrink that down. That was my first big challenge and had some very big ideas. I saw these lovely beads and I just kept thinking, oh, they look like tiles, and then using the teeniest of tinies to do some peyote. So we have that look of different textures of that pop-up that I tend to really like. I like to explore with pop-up, with different textures. We have the Lady of Shalott. That's kind of what I've been exploring, is how do I get that technique? So I'm learning more about that. The best way I've learned, especially with my latest project, is having paper mock-up really helps. So I try to make everything out of paper first and then pin it onto my dummy and then go from there. That really helps seeing how that's going to work. I always listen, how is it going to be supported? And can anybody wear it? I want to try to make sure that can this be almost worn by anybody, any size, anybody could wear it. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do with my stuff. But usually with inspiration, I get those colors or the theme. I start looking at pictures. I start looking at all these different things like Pinterest. I like getting inspiration. I don't like to copy, but I like looking at Art Nouveau pictures. I like looking at different themes, different nature themes, and then trying to get that little spark. Where's it gonna come from? And then trying to get from here to there. So if we wanted to show the video of where doves fly, then we can talk about that a little bit.
Give me just a second to load it up.
You got it, hon.
All right, I think we're good. Hang tight. Share screen. I think that's it. Make it big. There we go. Whoops.
For some reason, that one picture is upside down and I couldn't fix it. So here you see me, embroidering onto the fabric flowers that they're vintage fabric flowers I had found. And so started embroidering on those. And there you can see my mock-up. There's a paper windows. And I had that idea for a locket, but Prince inspired. I have a little paper card. There's a pocket behind the dove that holds the little card. So it could also be an amulet bag if you really think. You could probably put something lucky in that little pocket. It has a little magnet closure. And it also has little black paper paper leaves, and the fabric flowers really helped fill the back up when I didn't have enough time to bead the clouds on the back, but still use those beautiful brighter colors. I thought that was really fun. There it is. Hi guys. Here I am being a model. I'm awesome.
You're beautiful.
I'm gorgeous. Look at me, I'm in heaven opening up my wonderful locket.
Exactly. We should all be able to wear our stuff.
I think so. And there's my inspiration. And you can see that when I saw those blue and whites, I really kept going back to that suit and wanting to am wanting to do go there. Wanting to do that since we don't have Windows Fly here anymore. We can I'll just give you a little tour of my Diva Den. So here we have. Here's my paper cutting studio. My Cricut I got for Christmas. I didn't know I wanted it, but I literally play with this daily almost. And my sewing station. I do like to sew. I got this for Christmas too. It embroiders. I don't use it as much as I should. Here I have piles and piles of paper because I do like to play with paper. Those boxes have patterns. I have. Oh, here we go. Wow. This is so much fun. I like to put my beads out and charms and all these things go. I can just
on the spinny racks from the store.
Spinny racks.
So
cake.
All you have to do is go down to the whatchamacallit recycle joint.
Yeah. This one I got at a garage.
The fix it, reuse it place downtown.
Yep, and I have this one. That one I got off of Amazon.
It's so cool. It's such a great idea.
I have my looms. I have my embroidery thing. I have my library. I have my empty refrigerator.
Where does she keep all her beads?
All my beads.
Oh. Yeah, that's a question. Sorry, Shelly thought we were muted. But no, yeah, where do you get all your beads?
Where do I get all my beads? I get a lot of my beads. Okay, so back when I didn't get my parents' restaurant, I worked for a little bead store in Stillwater, and I can't even remember the name of it. It was so long ago, but she was closing out. And here's a funny story. So I was also bartending at Loggers in Stillwater. That was a nightmare after I didn't inherit my parents' restaurant like I was supposed to. So I'm bartending and I'm working at a bead store in Stillwater. She's closing out. I am not a gambler. For some reason, on my lunch break, I went around the corner to Loggers and I had a drink and a pizza. And my brain said, play a pull tab. When my brain talks to me, I usually will say, okay, I got a pull tab. I pulled $1,000 and she was like selling all her stuff. I bought just boxes and boxes. I'm still working on some of that stash. I love going to estate sales and finding things. I'm constantly buying beads. If there's a sale, I'm buying beads. If there are weird stuff or miniatures, I absolutely love going to estate sales and finding things, or a lot of times I'll find weird beads or buttons or something that's going to tickle my brain and be the whole basis of a project. So that you never know where you're gonna find that inspiration. So that's I don't know. It's one of those things. I as you can tell from my room, I'm a horrible pack rat. So I left one spot really messy, just so you can see. Now Rochelle and Hannah got to see just how messy I really am, but this is really messy. I'm gonna have you come in. So when you come into this is messy. When you come into my room, you can see I'm the queen bee. Yeah, I'm the queen bee. And then I made when my stuff's not in my room, I have this little case here. So this little case has all my beadwork. I put my weird stuff I find. Oh, there's my bird. Okay, I'll go back in. What am I doing? I'm talking to these lovely ladies. You hear them say, "What are you doing?" So here's my room. I love to collect. I'm trying to not look like a hoarder, but I am a horrible hoarder. But I try not to look like one.
You're a collector, my dear, not a hoarder.
I am a collector. On that note, okay, this is so funny. My daughter-in-law sent me the funniest video. She's savage because she knows I love going to estate sales. So she sent me this video of this lady. She's older than me, but she's holding her purse like me. She's dressed like me with a little scarf and everything. And she has her daughter-in-law. She took her to an estate sale, and her daughter was like, I don't go to these things. She goes, garage sales are for living people's junk. Estate sales are for dead people's treasures. And then it gets going on and on. And then her daughter's like, Darla's like, oh, that's nice. She's like, and then mom's going, did you get the itch? And she's like, I'm itching all over. And estate sales, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I love estate sales. It's terrible. I love the treasure hunting. I'm not a gambler, but I'm a treasure hunter. So
Absolutely.
I love finding a treasure. You never know what you're gonna find.
Correct.
Does anybody have any more questions for me? I'm not sure if we're going to talk about anything else. I'm having a lot of fun talking to you guys, though. So I don't know if anybody has any more questions for me. I'm more than happy to answer.
I just want to say your pieces are amazing, Sandra. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for interesting and wanting to hear about them. That meant a lot to me.
I have them so full of this.
It meant a lot to me that you guys wanted to hear about my stuff and invited me to talk to you guys. It was very nice, and I'm having a lot of fun talking to you guys. I wish I was a little bit more organized, but that'll come in time.
You know, organization is technically a little overrated. Once you start cleaning everything, you can't find anything.
When I work, oh my gosh, usually I am a lot like that. It's like that song, she's cleaned up and I can't find anything. I can be a little untidy and chaotic when I'm working. Especially I like things to spread all over. And I know where it is, and other people are like, what's going on in here? I'm like, go away. It's my room.
Creative people are messy. It's a fact.
Hey, it's okay. My dear partner is very neat and clean, which is very nice for a man, and I don't want to complain. However, here's an example. Since he's not in here, when I like to do the cooking and he does the cleanup, so I'm cooking, but he's like following me around, taking my utensils and like, where's my spatula? It's in the dishwasher. Well, I'm still cooking.
That's adorable.
He's a very clean man, and I do like that. He's a very clean man.
Well, there's always every, opposite.
He's my third husband,
every...
so he's my third husband. I like having it clean.
Yep.
Third time's charm.
I love it. And so any advice for us for people who are thinking how to take that inspiration in my head and then get it to the second step?
So I always like to try to sketch something out. Try to get a little sketch of where am I going to go with this, and then lay out all your materials. Start playing with them. Is it this go with this? Does this go with this? Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I rip stuff out. It's okay. But start again. I really, especially if you're stuck, if you don't have any inspiration, I'm going to give you a little plug for the Toho challenges, because you got an assignment. So take that mini challenge. It really helped me grow. I have gone in directions I didn't know I was going to go into, and I can actually say I'm an artist. I've had something in fine arts, and this is due to the Toho challenge. I would never have made Stay Gold or my other big pieces if I wouldn't have had that inspiration through the challenges. So I tell everybody, try to take one of those challenges, because they're so fun. You get inspiration. There's a theme. There's colors picked out for you. There's shapes picked out for you. Play with them. You can go get different ones too, and then just explore. It's fun to just put all those beads out on a tray or on your table and just sit there and play with them. What goes with what tickles you? So don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that's okay. For like one of my toddlers watches, there's a song called Oopsie. Oopsie, oopsie. Oh well, start again. That's okay. And there's no rules. Who says there's rules? You don't have to do it. I've learned that you can add bead embroidery. You can add paper. I used to think everything had to be just beads, like a snowbird. Everything had to be just beads, but no, you can use fabric. You can use paper. You can use acetate plastic. Anything you want to use.
Oh, well, we leave that. I'll have something.
So that's about it.
That's so cool. I mean, like, because it's a process and you're always afraid to start because you don't know where.
I have another really good idea that helps me a lot if you're stuck for an idea. Start like searching poems that are copyright free, like we did for Nothing Gold Can Stay. Start looking at poems that you like, or a song that you like, or is there a certain season you like, and then start exploring those colors. Just kind of go with that. I really like poetry, or trying to look at paintings you like, but not copying, but just getting that feeling of it. I tend to go with more Art Nouveau. I just kind of what I do, but just kind of look at pictures. What tickles you? What inspires you? And then just kind of experiment. Use the techniques you know. Try to learn a new technique when you're doing a challenge. I've got a little glitter in my glasses here. That's kind of how I've just been going through. When you get stuck, it doesn't hurt to look at other people's work. Don't copy them ever, but looking at things can definitely give you a tickle inside. I like looking at old movies and old costumes. I find stories that I love inspire me, and I'm hoping to start working on one inspired by Poe, Posey for Poe with the Raven. Since I found out that poem is not copyright anymore, I can use part of the Raven and Nevermore, and I have some really interesting Raven pieces, and I want it holding a rose and lots of blacks and reds. Something outside of what I usually do with blues and things. I usually tend to go for those. So that's another reason I like the challenges, picking out colors I wouldn't normally pick out. So that's another, again, why I like taking challenges, is going outside the box that I normally would go. I would normally tend to go towards certain colors or a certain theme, where when you have something presented to you, you can go outside that box and see where it takes you. Oh, any
other
other
questions?
questions for me?
Well, I want to know how you get your structural to stay structured, like so that it's not so flimsy, so that your wings open up and stay,
I've been using,
like that piece.
yeah,
It's like completely, whoops, wrong one, wrong
okay.
place, whoops, wrong person,
That piece I used
whoops.
what's it? What do you want to call it? It's in sewing. It's
Stiff stuff?
yes. So but a little bit thicker. So it's like not interfacing. I'm a little stuck for words sometimes.
There it is,
But
or the stuff you're embroidering or the stuff you
yeah,
iron on.
I don't really like the iron on, because that residue can get onto your needle and be really sticky. So let me see if I have a piece of it. So I don't have the name of it, but you can tell it's really thick and stiff. And I don't like the fusible though, because again, I don't like when you're sewing constantly, your needle will get gummy. And sometimes,
Is that Lacey's stiff stuff?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I like that really stiff
Yeah.
with that. And then I usually always back with ultra suede. If I need more structure, I just keep adding to make it stiffer. The pieces I've been doing, they're kind of what I call, and they're kind of my saying, glorified sandwich boards, if you may, because it has the front and the back. It's also counterweight, making it more comfortable to wear. I try, especially the last few pieces, I try really hard to make them so they're wearable, that you could actually, I have a few pieces that are not that wearable. They look nice, but they're not wearable. And I want to make these wearable so you could actually wear them and have people come talk to you about them and stuff like that. But I really like working with that stiff stuff, and building up on that. I use a lot of ultra suede for backing, and for the straps. If there's not going to be beading, I try to put it on there. Again, as you can kind of see here, when I was running out of time, I couldn't have all beadwork, but the edging and the beading on it makes it look nice. I've had a lot of people say it looks like lederhosen. It kind of does. Yeah, I like it though. It kind of is like a lederhosen or a glorified sandwich board. I just like the idea that as you're, walking away, that people can, you can,
It's the fanciest sandwich board I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
fancy sandwich board. I got a lot of laughs at that when we went to the fine arts party. It was really fun because I actually got to talk to people. I had people looking at it and a few people talking to me about it. And then I had the lederhosen and then they're like, what would you call this? And I always make people laugh. I say, it's a fancy sandwich board. They can see it coming and going.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes the back is just as important as the front, especially for us ladies. As we're walking away, people want to look at us and then they see that the back is just as important as the front.
Oh, absolutely.
I just like that counterbalance too, because sometimes when you're making a big heavy piece and you just have something here, it really hurts the neck. It's very uncomfortable. So that was my solution. Moving forward, I don't know if I'll always do that. With the Thunderbird, it was more like a halter. It's wearable, but it is a little awkward with the tie. But it does work. I've worn it to the Christmas party. I wore it to the fine arts party too, which was kind of fun. Get people talking, especially if something has lights on it.
Well, absolutely. Oh my gosh. And so much fringe,
Lots of fringe. Yeah, if I had more time, the cicada would have had fringe. That would have been really pretty, but I was very pleased how it turned out. I'm going to be at the Renaissance Fair on the 22nd, so the day after our class, our family is going to the Ren Fest, and I'll be wearing that lovely set.
Well, terrific. You're going to have to stop in the booth.
I will definitely come find you. We'll definitely come find you. We're celebrating our granddaughter's birthday there instead of having a party. So that should be fun.
Nice. Oh my gosh, that'll be so great.
We'll definitely come see you.
Way more fun than a traditional birthday party. Just go to the fair.
Go to the fair, yeah. So the oldest granddaughter, so it's the youngest and then the oldest, her sister. So they're my non-genetic grandchildren, but they're my grandchildren. And the oldest is going to go see Pink. So she's turning 9, 10, and her mom's taking her to see a Pink concert.
Wow.
Yeah, for her birthday.
Wouldn't that be a killer 10th birthday? Oh my God.
Crazy. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I saw some cool concerts though when I was like 12, 13. My sister would take me to concerts. So this was what I would say 79, 80, 81. So I was like 12, 13. And you know why my sister would take me to concerts? Because I was the mule. So she was a teenager and she'd have me put alcohol in my pocket. But I got to see, I got to see lots of concerts. So.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Nobody would suspect a 10-year-old or whatever.
All you could do was pat him on the back too. So back then, you were getting searched. I'm as a small one, only could have a pat in the back. No, that's terrible. That's terrible. But I saw Eric Clapton. I saw Bob Seger. I saw, oh my gosh, Styx. I saw.
As long as she bought the ticket, yeah. Hey. I tell you, that's hilarious.
I actually bought most of it.
How?
Because, okay, here's the deal. My parents owned a restaurant. So I was kind of child labor. They didn't pay me, but people give me tips.
Gotcha.
So I had cash. So I have a really, okay, so no, this is really bad. I'm sorry. This is bad. But this was 1982. My parents had a cigarette machine in their restaurant. My sister would take them. I didn't take them. I would buy them. I was not smoking them. I was in 8th grade. I'd sell a cigarette for $1 a piece to the 9th graders.
I love it. An entrepreneur.
I had a lot of money. That was a lot of money back then.
Well, yeah, because a pack was 50 cents or something at the machine.
Selling a cigarette for $1 a piece in the early 80s. I'm sorry, this is terrible. And then my sisters finally took too many cigarettes and they took the machine out.
Yep.
So that was the end of my dealing.
Well, you know, I tell you, you're adorable.
Different days, though. Different days. I did not smoke. I still don't smoke cigarettes. I know they made me nervous, but I was terrible.
So what's your next project? So are your next inspiration? Can you give us any teasers or?
My next I am working on that Poe one actually. So I am
Okay.
working on that project. I have a few more and maybe it might get inspiration. I don't know. We never know. But I am working on that one. I have a couple of things that I'm sketching out and thinking how am I going to recreate this? I have a couple of interesting ideas. I want to do one about the Byron poem, She Walks in Beauty, or She Walks in Beauty Like the Night, that poem. So I have a few things. I'm trying to figure out more. How can I do pop-up without paper with fabric and beads? So I'm working on how can I get that movement and for my next project. We'll see. I'm working on it. I don't know. But definitely working on a posy for Poe. That's been something I've been mulling around for a couple of years and hoping to work on it. Now, one thing, since we're talking about what could I be working on, when I went to the fair, I noticed the winning pieces for most categories were political. Now, I don't really do a lot of political work, but I was thinking of a piece that takes that lovely face of the disaster and have her reaching for the stars, but then turning into reds at the bottom, like, why must we bleed while we reach for the stars? So I was kind of thinking like of a woman's issue of why do we have to bleed so hard and when we want to reach for a star. I'm kind of thinking, how would I do that one in very see-through fabrics, also like almost ghost-like, but still wearable. So I'm kind of mulling that one around too.
Yeah.
So kind of got some ideas.
It sounds like you're not just sitting around eating bonbons, doing nothing.
No. Everybody like asked me, but because I don't work anymore. I'm at home, and I got busier and busier and busier, just playing, having fun, making stuff, things like that. I loved creating. I've been been pretty busy. I like it. It's all right. Definitely not sitting around eating bonbons. I had to lose weight because I ripped my knee apart.
That job sounds fun. Where do I sign up for that job?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do sit around eating sour gummies though.
I knew you had some sort of like secret, weapon.
I am obsessed with sour gummies.
That's hilarious.
I have some by my bed. Sometimes if I wake up in the night, I eat them. I can't sleep.
That's hilarious. And then the sugar rush.
I just love sour. When I was pregnant, I would eat whole lemons, like the whole lemon with the peel and everything. That was kind of a form of pica, but that's what I would do when I was pregnant with my kids. I would just sit there and eat whole lemons. It didn't help that I was still working at my parents' restaurant. I worked at my parents' restaurant until I was almost 40, and I didn't inherit it after all, but that's okay. I can't imagine running that restaurant. No, thank you. It's a lot of work.
Morning, noon, and night. You never get a vacation.
No, you don't. You don't get a vacation, and if you don't like it, it's misery.
And there's no time to bead. So I think you're in your most wonderful, happy place.
I'm in a very happy place. I had some drama getting here, but I'm in a very happy place. My husband and I are going to be celebrating our 10th year wedding anniversary next month, and that's pretty cool because he's my high school sweetheart. He's my first love, and 30 years of separation, and then me almost literally dying is what and Facebook is what brought us together. I like that story, but there was drama. I'm not gonna lie, there was drama. But cancer-free, happily married, all is well.
That's super.
That's excellent.
I like that story. I like that story. Yeah. So my little as a my little hidey hole here. This used to be Pete's oldest son's bedroom, and it was red and black and oriental type of decoration, and the ceiling he had sharpened. He was going through a phase. He was sharpening pennies and stuff and throwing them up on the ceiling, so the whole ceiling was full of coins. Then he went off to the Marines, and I took this room. And 3 years later, when he came back and saw this lovely, peaceful yellow room, this big giant man burst into tears.
Aww.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like, God.
That's kind of cute and adorable all in
Cute,
one.
adorable. He is a sweetheart. He's a sweetheart. His daughter, the little Nara, was his one daughter, and she is little Pete Jr. and her and I are like this. She's over at my house about 4 times a week. So I see little Nara a lot. She's a sweetheart. I spend a lot of time with her. I see my other grandchildren live about an hour away. So my 4 granddaughters through my son, they're out in Roberts, Wisconsin. And then my daughter Hannah doesn't have children. And then Caitlin has one little girl, and she's about an hour away. So I see them when we can. But Jake and Dessa, they were trying to move into our neighborhood about a block away, but they found a house in Lakeville about 15 minutes away. So because they wanted to be here all the time, which is very nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's super.
I know. Oh my gosh, I brought little Lumi to the fair with me, and she got to go to she's 9, so she's Anara's sister, and we got to go to fine arts together, and she got to see well, she's seen Stay Gold at my house, but yay. But to see it there at the fair, she was so impressed. And then, of course, I put a big price tag on it because you never know. And she was like actually impressed with me. She goes, "Grandma, you actually are an artist." Ah, aw, thanks, babe.
That's really cute.
I like that story. I'm like, oh, because she's going to be a preteen, and she's kind of like going through that phase of like sour looks and not liking anything. So that was extra sweet. And then I keep trying to do more innocent type things with her, try to keep her the child. There's plenty of time to grow up. There's plenty of time to be a teenager. So I'm always trying to find ways to have some fun that doesn't include the phone, or because I'm even addicted to my phone, but you got to get out there and play.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's what your whole entire story is about.
I like to play. Yeah.
Is let's play. I mean,
Let's
absolutely,
play.
right, everybody?
Let's
Let's
play.
just get out there and have some fun.
Have fun. Let's play.
Let's
Do
just
it
do
till
it.
Do it till
And
life.
so I can't wait to see what all your crowns look like for our anniversary party. I hope that you all create some sort of fun, that speaks to you or tells your story of how you like to have fun, because it's not all the same story, obviously. And that's what makes us all unique. And so if you look at our private group picture on Facebook, it is our picture from our 30th anniversary. And so I can't wait to then update that to now be our 35th group photo. So I hope you all come to our anniversary party. And so send in your check. I will send in mine. I get paid on Friday. And yes, Hannah is coming into town for it. And we're so excited that she can. There's several other people coming into town for it. I believe Paulette's coming into town. And so Rita, I believe is coming into town. So anybody, whether you're out of state, if you want to come in, network with people and see if there's a way that you can do that. And, if you really want to, we'll reach out to our members and see, how we can do that, or places to stay, or however, we just would love to see you. And we're not going to be Zooming that meeting. That is a private, in-person only, because it's just where it is and everything. But the October meeting is in person, and that is the week before. That's at the Carondelet Center, and that's with our very own Suzanne Stephenson. And so she's going to be talking about the history of beaded wire flowers and showing us a whole bunch of, oh my gosh, her amazing wire work. But yeah, there's an incredible history behind it. So that's the October in person, and we will be Zooming that. So if you're not local, there is many things that we're doing. And then our felting class for October, Let's Be Live, we're making little felted pumpkins. And Brianna Olson, who taught us the little pansy class, is the teacher for that. And her kits and everything are on our website. So then you could get all the little projects for Sandra's classes on there, all the supplies for September 21st, Let's Be Live, and then Brianna for October 19th. So there's all kinds of things in October going on. The week after the 35th is our Let's Be Live, and that'll be a Zoomer. And then the Bead Bazaar. So, oh my gosh, every weekend you have something fun to do with the Bead Bazaar. So nobody can be home lonely with nothing to do. Come join us. Tell your friends.
Come see my piece.
Exactly. And so she's going to be wearing it, I believe. So everybody dress up as well. You don't have to make something special for the party to wear, except for your head, right? I don't know. Wear all your finery, just like the queen does. She wears everything she owns, right? All the bracelets, all the brooches, all the necklaces.
I wouldn't be able to walk with all the
I
necklaces.
know, right? But I look forward to seeing you all. And thank you so much, Sandra, for such inspiration.
Thank you for having me and visiting with me. I had a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. And for taking interest in my stuff. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
We
Sandra.
look
was
forward
really
to seeing
fun.
you on September 21st.
Come be with me. We'll be here at the Diva Den.
There
We'll
you
have some fun
go.
together. Bring a pop, bring a cocktail, whatever.
There
Have
you
some
go.
coffee. Come hang out with me. My husband's
your
going on a
address?
blood run. You want to come over? I live in Rosemount. Come on
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Happy beating, everybody.
If you want to, message me. You can come to my house.
There you go.
Message me. Come on over. I have seating.
I love it.